Hey, thanks for listening, following along. This is Matthew from 3x5goals.com. And I'm going to talk a little about off subject today. This isn't about goals, but I guess in a roundabout way it could be to some people. But this is about kind of a trend that's very disturbing. I just heard a statistic on the radio. A study out of London just came out that suggested 25%, 1 in 4 children 6 and under own a smartphone. Okay? Now, I'm an online entrepreneur. Believe me, I am all about technology. I'm all about the tools to get the job done. I'm all about teaching these kids how to live and breathe and operate in a digital space. But my goodness, let the childhood happen first, people. I can't believe this. Now, I don't know where this study was conducted, or if it can't be globally. There's far too many third world countries that would bring that statistic way down. I'm sure it's a select few countries. I don't know if it's England and UK, United States, maybe Australia. I don't know. They did a study in a certain demographic. But regardless, it's a trend, and I think we all know it. We all see it, and we all can understand and agree that far too many kids, way too many kids, have technology at their fingertips and shouldn't. Now, here's why. Even childhood psychologists agree with this. This is way too much in their little hands. They don't know, sorry for the shaky road, they don't know what's going on. They're just little. They're just kids. I grew up, playing in the street, falling over, skinning my knee, and this is, I guess, I would have rolled my eyes if my dad said this when I was, when I was your age, I did this and that, and blah, blah, blah. Right. Well, this is real because it's me this time, but no, seriously, I don't think we have ever seen anything like this before in the history. Now, we have had various changes from generation to generation, where when I was your age, we rode horses. Well, now we have cars. Well, when I was your age, we had black and white televisions. Well, now we have color. Okay. This is huge. I don't know, there's something different about this one, but 6-year-olds owning smartphones where they can sign up on social media, surf the web, watch YouTube, see anything, expose themselves to anything across the entire world, and they're carrying these devices around with them all day. Now, here's the thing that got me concerned. Number one, they said, the parents from this study said that they bought their kids smartphones because they wanted them, because they asked for them. That was it. There was no need. There was no specific, I don't know, there might be some certain specific circumstances that would warrant giving your kid some kind of a phone or a device or something. I don't know. Probably very rare exceptions. I'm not saying there aren't, and I'm not judging you if you are one of those parents. But I am saying that just because your kid wants something doesn't mean he or she should be able to get it. Especially something of a luxury like a smartphone. Because number one, what are we teaching our kids when we do this? When I ask, I get. I don't have to work for it. I don't have to earn it. Now, as parents, I've got 5 kids. So as parents, I feel like I'm qualified to say this. We are obligated to provide all the necessities for our children. Starting with love. We have to provide our children with love. They have to have a foundation of love. That is one of the most important jobs as a parent. Second, shelter and safety. You've got to provide a safe, warm environment, place for your kids to grow up and have a childhood. Doesn't mean you have to be wealthy. It just means you need to provide for them. You need to be there for them. Mom and a dad in a home. I know, call me old school, but that's statistically what gives the kids the best foundation for their lives. And most everything else, okay, food and water, shelter, love, basic clothes and things for school. But there's got to be a bar wherein we say, anything above this bar, I'm not going to give you. I'm not just going to hand it over to you. You have to go work for it, okay? Even at a young age, we have to teach our kids the value of them working, saving up, and buying their own things, and owning their own things, and taking care of their own things. And there are too many parents, I think, that just give the bloody farm away. They just say, here, I don't want my kid to stand. I don't want my kid to be the weird one in the classroom that doesn't have the cell phone. All of the friends have cell phones. I don't want that to happen to my kid. All of his friends hanging out playing games, and my kid's sitting over there in the corner. I don't get to play games. I don't have a cell phone. My mom and dad won't give me one. Guess what? you're teaching your kids some good things there. And if you can instill in them some principles, that is not what makes them a popular person. That is not part of their identity. That is not who they are. We don't judge them because they have a cell phone or not. I know some of their kids, their friends will. But you know what? You take the cell phone out of the equation, they're still going to judge your kids on something else. You can't avoid that. That's part of childhood. Kids are going to be kids. They're going to judge each other. They're going to make fun. They're going to meet someone at 3 o'clock at the flagpole and bloody their nose. It's going to happen at some point to almost every child. Nobody gets through it without. So we have cell phones and we think, oh, well, that's an exception. It's not. See, people are going to find other ways to make fun of your kids if they have a cell phone. Okay? So just throw that out the window, that excuse. But here's the thing. We give our kids these, and what they were saying in the study, this is very interesting, is most of them were giving it to their kids for entertainment purposes. Now let's talk about this for a second. I want to unpack this. I am no psychologist. This is just common sense. This is my observation because I have 5 kids, and what I've read and what I've observed and what I've seen, and like I said, basic common sense. When we spend so much time being entertained, we don't learn how to entertain ourselves. Now think about what that means. I'm going to say it again. When I was a kid, I know, don't roll your eyes at me. I see it. Stop. When I was a kid, we had to come up with our own things to do. Now, I grew up in the 80s mostly, 70s as a child, but a lot of the 80s. And that was pre-internet, pre-technology. I mean, we had computers, but they're very primitive video games. I didn't spend a lot of time playing video games. I would get out in the neighborhood and we played hide and go seek and ditch 'em and all kinds. We had little, secretive mailboxes we give each other, and we each had, in our backyards, different things to do, swings and playgrounds, pieces of all kinds of things. We were always creating new ideas. We played a lot of basketball, skateboarding, went through different phases, but it was always interacting with others, and it was always us coming up with things. What are we going to do today? I don't know. What should we do? Let's see. Let's do this. Let's do that. We're engaging our mind to be creative, to come up with ideas, to entertain ourselves, and we're exploring, and we're having fun, and that is how our minds are supposed to work. Our minds aren't supposed to only be entertained. Now, that doesn't mean we can't be entertained, of course. That's always been around. You go to a play, you're being entertained. You just sit there, someone else does all the work. They give you the entertainment. You don't have to do anything, you just sit there. Movies, video games, internet, social media, I could go down the list. There's so many things nowadays that we can be entertained. And you've got parents now who are giving a tablet to their kids because they don't want to be a parent. They say, here, this is your new mom and dad. Take a listen. Here's a bunch of games. Here's the internet. I got to go to work. And they know that if they just hand them a tablet, the kid's not going to get in trouble. I get it, right? I get it. The kid's not going to be in trouble because he's sitting there glued to the tablet or the TV screen or a phone all day long. Well, it makes life easy, right? That's the plug and play, drag and drop type of business model for being a parent. I don't have to work hard to take care of my kid. I don't have to entertain him. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. I just hand him the little electronic babysitter and away we go. And he stays out of trouble. Well, that's good because he's not getting in trouble. But you know what? You might disagree with me a little on this, but that's okay. Getting in a little bit of trouble, there's nothing wrong with that. Now, I'm not saying go get arrested, go rob a bank or convenience store, or do something stupid and get a criminal record. No. Go skin your knees a little bit. Go do something a little bit mischievous. It's okay for our kids to have a little bit of wiggle room to learn what's right and what's not right by them exploring themselves and finding out, oh, don't touch the hot stove. I don't like what happened right there. Or, hey, that was kind of cool. Maybe I have a knack for this. Or maybe, this is interesting. Maybe there's a career here or a future here. But if we rob our children of those opportunities, then what do we have left for the future of our nation? We hand over technology to raise our kids because we're too lazy as parents to do it ourselves, right? And what are we doing? We're creating a massive, massive beast of a problem. that these kids are one day going to be leaders and they're not going to know what to do. They're not going to have life experience. They're going to miss that entire foundation of their childhood where they learn and grow and have some bumps and bruises. Some of the most successful people I know were mavericks. Well, not mavericks. They were a little bit rebellious when they were kids. They had that little spunk in them. They went out and did some things, and they didn't always do things right. They got in trouble a little bit, or they got bad grades, or they skipped class, or they did this or that. Now, if any of my kids are listening, don't skip class. I'm not saying that. But let kids be kids. They're wired for that, and we rob them of that when we give them so much technology. How are they supposed to say no to technology? You can't expect them to be mature enough to say yes and no when you hand them a cell phone with everything on it, videos. I mean, you've got professional companies, marketers, billions of dollars of budget that are marketing to these kids, and we expect them to have the ability to say no and just turn away. These video games that are designed with the colors and the characters, and you've got teams and teams of professionals all making it appealing to your kid, and you give them a cell phone and you're like, well, why do you spend so much time on the cell phone? What do you get? YouTube videos and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, guess what? You're setting them up for failure, not success. You're putting something in their hands they don't even know what's going on. They don't understand how they're being marketed to, and they don't understand the lure, the appeal of what's being put in front of them. They don't have the ability to say no. They haven't developed that yet. They're just children. All right, can you tell I'm passionate about this? Anyways, if you take a look and you see that you're one of those parents, I would recommend highly to take a second look at what you're doing. Look around, check out kids that spend way too much time being entertained by their parents. Look at their lives. Look at how the kids are. Look at their ambitions. Look at their energy levels. How sharp are they? I mean, make some judgments. I know, don't judge a book by its cover. We all said that. It's, you don't want to judge. You don't want to. Well, yeah, you know what? Sometimes you got to judge, all right? Sometimes you got to say, you know what? I don't like those environments for my kids, so I'm not going to participate. That's a judgment, and you got to make it. You got to make some judgments. You got to look at where this habit that you're giving this to your kid, where is that leading your kid to? What type of other kids are like that? What type of environment is it leading to? Look at the statistics. Oh my gosh, video games. You know what? They're giving scholarships now for gamers. Gamer scholarships. All right, cool. So it's part of society. Gaming, I got it. I'm not a gamer, but I spent time playing video games when I was a kid, just like everybody else. Was never really addicted to it. But you know what? What true value are we giving? Are we providing the world when we become a professional gamer? I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get a scholarship as a gamer. I'm going to go and become a professional gamer. What value are you providing the world? Okay, the only thing I can think of is entertainment. You're entertaining people. People will love to watch. Some reason, people love watching others playing video games. I know, blows my mind too. I don't get it. And the only thing worse than wasting your time on playing video games is watching other people play video games on a screen. It's worse than watching golf. I can't believe it. So, yes, it's true. It exists. People watch it. That's the only thing. I cannot think of any true value you are adding to the world when you do that. It's insane. When we're entertained, we rely on an external stimulus to fill our time. And think about that. If you are giving your kid technology, that's what you're instilling in them. You're instilling in them a dependence on external stimuli for them to be entertained, because that is a habit that gets ingrained, and habits are beasts to work with. If you've got some, they're really hard to break. And kids, when you are ingraining those habits in such an early formative years, the early ages of childhood, 6 years old, and they have these habits already of technology, man, I feel for you when they get older and you can't break them. And they're addicted to technology just as strong as they're addicted to 20 years of smoking. They just can't quit. And God help us, and God bless this country if this is where we're headed. Anyways, let me know what you think. Am I too strong? Make your comments below. Let me know. Talk later.